You do not realize how terrifying you actually are. Not yet, because no one ever told you the truth about human potential. The truth that almost every person walks this earth using only a fraction of the strength, focus, and resilience hidden inside them. Not because they lack ability, but because the moment things get difficult, uncomfortable, repetitive, or quiet, their mind collapses long before their body does. You were taught to chase motivation, inspiration, and passion. But ancient warriors knew something different. They knew that when you cut off every escape route your mind invents, when you place yourself inside a system that leaves no room for negotiation, a second version of you appears. A version forged from pressure instead of preference. A version that does not break when life picks up speed. A version that few people will ever meet inside themselves. Today you will learn the exact mechanics of that transformation, the same system that shaped warriors centuries ago, and the same structure that modern neuroscience is finally confirming. But here is the catch that no one ever tells you. To reach this level, you must give up the one thing you love the most. The part of you that gets to choose the easy path. The part of you that whispers for comfort. The part of you that has sabotaged every goal you ever cared about. And the question you must face now is the one that terrifies most people. What happens when you fully commit? Before we go deeper, breathe once. And if you want to master ancient systems applied to modern life, you can subscribe for more. Then comment one habit you know you have been avoiding this week. Now go with me. You wake up inside a life you no longer respect. A life filled with half-finished attempts, abandoned routines, and motivational highs that crumble under pressure. This is where someone like you usually stands before anything changes. And to show you how this system works, you will walk beside someone who lived through it. His name is Jordan, 28 years old, normal apartment, normal job, normal dreams that never materialize. Jordan is not lazy. Jordan is stuck inside a loop that millions of people never escape. He wakes up to alarms he snoozes, promising himself that tomorrow he will wake earlier. He buys notebooks he never fills, courses he never completes, and gym memberships he barely uses. He starts strong every Monday, collapses by Thursday, resets the next week, and wonders why nothing ever changes. He does not lack intelligence. He lacks identity-level discipline. He goes through cycles of excitement, effort, dip, collapse, shame, reset, again and again. One morning he wakes up late for work, 3 deadlines behind, and staring at the same reflection that has not changed in years. He feels that quiet, sinking panic, the one that whispers that if he does not break this cycle now, the rest of his life will look exactly the same. It is in that moment that something ancient finds him. Not in a dramatic flash, not in a mystical dream, through something simple, a book someone leaves at his desk, a story of a warrior who lived in the 17th century, a manuscript containing the philosophy of Miyamoto Musashi. When Jordan opens it, he does not understand half the words, but he feels something in them. A clarity, a simplicity, a ruthlessness that cuts deeper than anything he has ever heard. He finds a line that says the way is in training, and another that says you must obey the way you set for yourself. Days later, he meets an old instructor who practiced Musashi's system for decades. The man looks at Jordan the way someone looks at an unfinished statue. The instructor tells him that what he lacks is not motivation, but the destruction of self-interference. He tells him about a 2015 Tokyo University study on neural pruning, how the brain eliminates the pathways that block performance when exposed to consistent, identity-level effort. Then he says something Jordan cannot forget. Obedience precedes freedom. You do not get to be disciplined. You become disciplined when there is no longer a version of you negotiating the terms. Jordan begins training the next morning. Stage 1. Ego death through obedience. He arrives expecting variety, stimulation, techniques, progress. Instead, the instructor hands him a wooden sword and gives him one command, one strike, one movement, repeated 300 times, then 500, then 1,000, day after day. It feels pointless. His hands blister. His shoulders burn. His mind screams for novelty. His ego says this cannot be the path. But the instructor tells him that this is the only path. That repetition is the blade that cuts away every weak identity layer until something unbreakable is revealed beneath. Modern science backs this. A Harvard motor cortex study in 2018 proved that high-volume repetition rewires identity-level self-perception. But here is what no one tells you. The repetition is not meant for the skill. It is meant to kill the version of you addicted to ease. Jordan feels boredom so sharp it feels like pain. Some days he wants to quit, but every rep chips away at the part of him that always looked for shortcuts, the part that always quit when things stopped being exciting. And slowly, without realizing it, he becomes someone who shows up even when he does not want to. The foundation begins forming. But humans are predictable. When the path becomes monotonous, the mind searches for escape. Jordan begins browsing tutorials again, watching videos, reading 5 books at once, feeling productive but doing nothing. This is the trap that destroys 99% of people, the eternal student, the illusion of progress, the addiction to learning instead of practicing. The world tells you to keep learning. The master tells you learning is useless if it replaces action. And here is what no one tells you. The moment you start searching for novelty instead of sharpening the basics, you fall back into the cycle that keeps everyone average. Jordan almost falls into it, but he catches himself. He returns to the repetition, quieter now, more focused. The instructor then moves him to stage 2, controlled braking. This stage confuses him at first. Suddenly there are 2 teachers, the old instructor and a younger modern coach who teaches a contradictory approach. One says slow, one says fast, one says relax, one says tight, one says adapt, one says resist. The contradictions frustrate Jordan until he nearly walks out. But the instructor explains that mastery cannot be achieved through perfect instructions, only through internalizing universal principles beneath conflicting rules. A 2020 Oxford cognition study found that adaptability under contradictory guidance increases cognitive flexibility and skill depth faster than consistent instruction alone. Jordan's mind hurts from trying to reconcile the differences, but something begins forming beneath the chaos. He begins to see patterns, principles, truths. He begins to understand why Musashi wrote that you must not rely on one method. He is not learning techniques anymore. He is becoming someone capable of operating under pressure. Then stage 3 arrives, the test. Jordan expects a demonstration, a quiz, a controlled challenge. Instead, he is thrown into a live scenario, maybe a 3-opponent sparring match, maybe a sudden layoff at work that sends him into panic, maybe a moment where someone challenges his confidence in public. Whatever the test is, it comes when he is not prepared, when he is tired, when he is vulnerable. And here is the shocking part. He responds automatically. His body moves without hesitation. His mind becomes quiet. His presence sharpens. His breathing steadies. He reacts without overthinking, without freezing, without negotiating. The instructor watches and nods. This is the moment when form disappears, when all the repetition finally burns itself into instinct. Harvard discovered this phenomenon as well. Automaticity, the point when the neural pathways built by thousands of repetitions take over and identity no longer interferes. Jordan stands in shock, realizing he did not rise to the challenge. He simply became someone who no longer collapses under pressure. But transformation always has consequences. As Jordan grows quieter, sharper, more focused, people around him begin to react. His friends start saying he is different, more intense, less available for distractions. Coworkers look at him differently. Some admire him, others feel threatened. Some mock him for trying to improve, others avoid him entirely. And here is the truth you must swallow now. When you elevate your standards, you become a mirror that forces others to confront their own lack of discipline. Your presence exposes their weaknesses, and people do not like being reminded of what they could have been. This is why the path isolates you. You become too disciplined for the undisciplined, too focused for the distracted, too committed for those who hide behind excuses. But isolation is a necessary part of transformation. You cannot rise while carrying the expectations of people who refuse to climb. Once the isolation settles, something else becomes clear. This system is universal. It is not limited to warriors or fighters. It applies to any skill you want to master. You want to play guitar. You must repeat the same chord progression 1,000 times until your fingers move without hesitation. You want to code. You must rewrite the same function again and again until logic becomes instinct. You want to build a business. You must send 100 emails a day without emotional attachment, without waiting for motivation, without worrying about rejection. The domains change, but the principle is the same. The repetition, the control, the breaking, the reconstruction, the test, the identity shift. This is why the ancient system works anywhere, because it trains who you are, not what you do. And now we arrive at the part that makes most people uncomfortable, the brutal truth. You have not failed because you lack talent, time, or opportunity. You have failed because you keep negotiating with yourself. You keep choosing comfort over commitment. You keep giving your weaker self the microphone. You say you want to master something, but you treat your goals like suggestions instead of commands. You break promises to yourself more often than you keep them. And this is why you stay the same. Discipline is not a motivational state. Discipline is a war between who you are in this moment and who you could become. And right now, the weaker version of you is winning. Every time you hit snooze, every time you skip the hard part, every time you choose distraction, every time you say tomorrow, you sabotage the future that was meant for you. No shortcuts, no hacks, no secret formulas. You will only transform the moment you decide that action continues even when your emotions do not support it. Especially then. So you need a system, a structure that forces your identity to catch up to your aspirations. Ancient masters knew this centuries ago. Modern science knows it now. A 2022 Oxford behavioral study showed that identity-based habit formation not only lasts longer but creates deeper personality shifts than motivation-based routines, which is why the instructor finally gives Jordan the 6-step path that completes the transformation. And you can follow it as well. Choose one skill. Reduce it to a daily minimum that you cannot negotiate. Remove negotiation entirely. Track repetitions instead of results. Introduce contradictions on the 4th week to force adaptability. And face a real test at week 8 so the system becomes part of your identity. Jordan follows these steps precisely. No shortcuts. No excuses. No breaks. And what emerges from the next 8 weeks is not the old Jordan with a better routine. It is a new identity. A person who does not quit when things get difficult. A person who knows how to operate under pressure. A person who can no longer return to the version of himself that once lived on autopilot. He does not become perfect. He becomes committed. And that is the scariest level of discipline, because once you reach it, you never see yourself the same way again. Now the path turns to you. You must decide which version of yourself will win. Comment the first weakness or skill you will commit to from this moment forward. And if you want more ancient systems applied to modern mastery, subscribe so you do not miss the next chapter of your transformation.